The roar of the engine, the smell of burning rubber, the thrill of speed. NASCAR is a sport that runs on adrenaline. But few know that this American racing giant has its roots in a darker, more clandestine past, the Prohibition era. In the 1920s, America outlawed alcohol. This period, known as Prohibition, gave rise to a new breed of outlaw, the bootlegger. These bootleggers were tasked with transporting illegal moonshine, often under the cover of night. To outrun the law, they needed cars that were fast, and drivers who were fearless. The rough backroads of the American South became their training ground. These drivers, often skilled mechanics themselves, would modify their cars, souping up engines and reinforcing suspensions to handle the rough terrain and evade the authorities. Little did they know, these high-stakes chases were laying the groundwork for a new form of racing, one that would captivate the nation and become a true American icon, NASCAR. The bootleggers' need for speed wasn't just about outrunning the law, it was also a matter of pride. These drivers, often from humble backgrounds, found a sense of freedom and accomplishment behind the wheel. Word of their daring escapades and driving prowess spread. Soon, crowds began to gather, not just to witness the illegal liquor runs, but to see these skilled drivers push their machines to the limit. Informal races sprung up, often on dirt tracks and back roads. These races were as much about outsmarting the competition as they were about raw speed. Bootleggers, with their intimate knowledge of their modified cars and the treacherous terrain, had a distinct advantage. These races were the precursor to stock car racing, the foundation upon which NASCAR would be built. The drivers, once outlaws on the run, were becoming folk heroes, their skills honed in the crucible of Prohibition. Among those who recognized the potential of stock car racing was Bill France Sr., a mechanic and sometime driver who understood the allure of these races. France had a vision to transform the chaotic and often dangerous world of bootlegger races into a legitimate, organized sport. In 1948, France gathered drivers, mechanics, and car owners in Daytona Beach, Florida. Their goal to establish a set of rules and create a governing body for stock car racing. This meeting marked the birth of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, or NASCAR. One of the drivers who answered France's call was a young man named Junior Johnson, a former bootlegger with a reputation for his skill behind the wheel and his ability to outrun the law. Johnson's story, like that of many early NASCAR drivers, exemplified the sport's gritty origins. He brought his knowledge of high-speed driving and car modification to the track, quickly becoming one of NASCAR's first stars. Under France's leadership and with drivers like Johnson behind the wheel, NASCAR began to shed its rough-and-tumble image, attracting sponsors, fans, and media attention. With a standardized set of rules and a growing fan base, NASCAR races transitioned from informal dirt tracks to purpose-built speedways. The first NASCAR strictly stock race was held at Charlotte Speedway in 1949, marking a turning point for the sport. As the sport gained popularity, the cars themselves evolved, becoming faster, sleeker, and technologically advanced. But the spirit of those early bootlegger races, the thrill of speed, the daring maneuvers, and the passion for competition, remained at NASCAR's core. The sport that had once been relegated to the back roads of the South had become a national phenomenon, attracting millions of fans and becoming a symbol of American ingenuity and grit. From its humble beginnings in the world of Prohibition, NASCAR has traveled a long and winding road, forever linked to its wild origins. The next time you hear the roar of a stock car engine, remember the bootleggers who paved the way, their need for speed giving birth to a uniquely American sport.